My guest tonight is a Shakespearean actor who has hurtled through space at warp speed, I think is the phrase. Warp speed 9, I guess Star Trek fans know about whom I speak, and the rest of you may think I've lost it, which is true incidentally anyway. But my guest tonight is Patrick Stewart, the original. Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Starship Enterprise is what he is, and it haunts him a little bit. You gotta feel sorry for him. I mean, I'm sure you can understand why. He recently returned to his Shakespearean roots, and he's starring as Propero in The Tempest, in the park, in the heat, and in the rain. It's the only time I thought The Tempest should open with fair is foul and foul is fair. I only just thought of that, and I'm sorry. But first, let me commend you on A, surviving. How in hell did you do it? The night I was there, it was 109 in the shade. You were unfazed. You gave me goose flesh. You made me cry. And that was backstage in your dressing room.
The show was quite forgettable. Yes, but the best. I survived only because I was warned in advance that the weather might be a feature. You know, never before in my career as an actor have I got up and immediately turned on the weather forecast. It is the most important moment in my day. No, it's not. There are other things that I've been obsessed about doing first thing in the morning. Most of them we can't talk about here.
Of course.
Excuse me, may I just do something?
What is it?
It's fluff. There you are.
Oh, that isn't fluff. It's
your skin.
No.
Oh my God, your skin is coming off.
It was there for religious reasons. I belong to a certain cult, and I wish you'd put it back.
And as a result of that, are you now going to be excommunicated from?
Sorry.
I do hope
not. The
not.
great Pat McCormick once convinced a waiter of that, who asked him to remove the pat of butter from his forehead. Said it's there for religious reasons. Oh. But carry on. So an actor having to tune in the weather like a farmer.
Just like a farmer, except that under most conditions, farmers can do something. If it rains, we don't work at all. It's happened so far once, and I thought it was bad when we didn't go up. We sat in our dressing rooms in makeup and costume, feeling slightly foolish while we were given 5-minute reports on the weather, and finally the performance was abandoned. But it was worse a few days later when we got 50 minutes into the production and the heavens opened. Now, this is a kind of theatrical coitus interruptus, and which we all hate.
You can say that. Coitus and don't interrupt us, I think, would be better. But go ahead.
I just said it. I don't think I could ever say it again. The role that I play has a kind of emotional arc in it, which gets hotter and hotter and hotter. The metaphor with coitus interruptus is getting more graphic by the moment. You see that?
Waiting to see how you're going to complete it.
I'm going to get out of this. Isn't it time we went to commercial?
I think it is. But do you have a climax for this metaphor?
Well, this is the point. There was no climax.
Oh, that's awful, because you were cut off in mid...
Yeah, in mid-emotional development. And it was the night that my girlfriend was seeing the show for the first time. Every moment that I tell this story, I'm regretting that I ever embarked on it, because this is not meant to be a metaphor for my life, by the way.
Let's hope.
But, so I wanted it to be a good evening. Of course I did.
Sure.
And our dinner arrangements we had to cancel, because instead of eating at 11:15, we were suddenly eating at 9:30. And I was leaving the theater and going to dinner, suspended at this point that Propero was at in the middle of the play, which is a bloodthirsty, revengeful state. He has not yet gone into his forgiveness mode at the end of the play. And it was very difficult for her to deal with my coming down without having Shakespeare's hand to help me, because he does it far more effectively than I found I could do it myself.
That's so interesting psychologically. I wonder, I don't know what in other people's lives would correspond to it, except being interrupted in some highly emotional, planned event, which you never get to the end of.
I'm not sure that there are other similarities, because the actor's life is strange on the stage, and it's one of the reasons I think why many of us have gone into it, because you're existing in controlled extremis. You know, as you saw with Propero, you can go through all kinds of intense experience, but in an utterly controlled, and what is most important, safe environment. I'm certain that's why, without knowing any of this psychological stuff, why I became an actor when I was a kid.
The only place in Central Park you are safe, perhaps. But I just wondered, has there ever been an incident where goons decided to attack the Shakespeare Festival and yell, "Hey, Shakespeare!"
Our director told us the other night that someone tried to pick him up on his way into the park, and being rebuffed, said to him, are you going to see The Tempest? And he said, yes, I am. He said, could you get me a ticket? And suddenly, getting a ticket for The Tempest was marginally more important than getting laid. Now, I think...
I've never paid for it, as they say.
It is a compliment, don't you think?
Yes, but I think it's quite nice.
You find that
don't all try this.
I should tell your viewers that I invited myself on this program. In fact, my publicist, Kelly Bush, and I asked if we could come on your program, and there was a reason for this. I know you had then to extend the invitation for it to be formal. The fact is, I have wanted to sit here for almost 30 years. I first came to the United States in
Didn't you get tired after 28 of them? Oh, I see what you mean. I'm sorry.
That's one of the reasons why I wanted to be on the show. Dick Cavett is not only fast, but also funny. There are people who are fast but not funny. There are people who are funny but slow, you know.
Yeah.
I came here in 1968 with the Royal Shakespeare Company to Los Angeles. We were doing 2 productions of Shakespeare. I can't remember now what they were, but I can remember what we watched when we went home in the evening. We watched... it is Dick Cavett, isn't it? We watched the Dick Cavett show. And you became an icon for the RSC and absolutely our favorite TV personality. Actually, it was Dick Cavett and the Muppets. Is that okay if I mention?
Did you have trouble distinguishing between the...
And I never thought that I would be in a position when I would qualify as a guest on your show. But now that there have been some changes in my life. Yes. I knew that this was where I wanted to be more than anywhere else. So this is a kind of climactic moment in my life, Dick. Thank you for making it possible.
Returning to your metaphor, I may have to... The sad part is that I tried to get into one of your productions out there and was turned away at the door because there was...
But did you have sex instead?
So, yeah, but again... If you weren't watching from the beginning, you're going to have to buy the tape from someone. That's so sweet. When we come back, I want to talk about the agony in your life of being in Star Trek.
Very well. There was occasional ecstasy, too.